Hello. I wanted to make a short video today on how and why you should pick out a horse's hooves. And I feel like there is a lot of people who are still struggling with this, but I'm going to keep it really short because there's really just a few basic steps you need to know about, and it shouldn't be that much of a problem. There is at least two reasons why you should pick out your horse's hooves regularly. Reason one is you're not dragging all the sand and all the shavings out with you if you pick out the horse's hooves before you leave the stable or before you leave an arena. Reason two is much more important. You need to make sure that your horse's hooves are in good shape. You need to make sure that you pick up on any kind of little wounds, infections, problems with the shoes, or stones stuck in the hoof before it becomes a bigger medical problem or the horse goes lame. So there's really only a few steps that you need to follow when you're trying to pick out horses' hooves. Step one, make sure that the horse is used to you and used to having its feet picked up. So if you are approaching a lesson horse, a school horse, maybe ask the instructor if this horse is used to having its feet lifted up and picked out by a stranger, or in general, or if they might have any. Some horses get scared when you pick up the hind feet, and it might be useful to know this before you approach the horse. Make sure it's tied up or anywhere secure and that the horse is staying calm throughout all of this. Step two, stand beside the leg that you want to lift up, facing the horse's tail, not facing the horse's head. You need to face the horse's tail. Don't stand too close, because then if the horse puts its foot down or just pulls the hoof out of your hand and just stomps on the ground, you might end up with your toes under the horse's hoof, and I can't recommend that. And don't stand too far away, because that might make it difficult for you to balance on your own feet while you're trying to lift the horse's hoof up. Step three, run your hand down the horse's leg. Of course, that's the hand that's closer to the horse. In this case, it's my left hand. And lean a little against the horse to encourage it to lift the hoof. Sometimes it also helps if you give a verbal command like hoof or lift or whatever might work. Make sure you grab the front feet from behind, as shown here, and the hind feet from the front. I'll say more about that in a second. Step four. When the horse lifts its hoof, make sure you grab the actual foot, not the leg or the fetlock. The first reason is then you can tilt the hoof upwards so you can actually see what you're doing. And the second reason being, some horses really don't like it if you have a strong hold onto their joint, their fetlock or their leg, and they're more likely to pull the leg out of your hands. Step five, make sure you locate the frog, because you don't want to touch that with the metal part of the hoof pick. The frog is the little the little triangle part in the middle of the hoof. Step six, pick out the hoofs without touching this said triangle, going from heel to toe. There is a triangle, basically only two lines of the triangle, that you can kind of drag the hoof pick through without causing the horse any pain. Step seven, use the brush if you have it, if it's on the hoof pick, to brush off any excess dirt and make sure that you got any little stones that might be stuck in between the shoe and the hoof, for example. Step 8, let the hoof down gently. Now, as I said, I wanted to show you what I mean with picking up the hind leg from the front. So this is how you would do it correctly. If I pick up the hind leg from the front and the horse decides to kick out behind itself or kick itself under the belly, maybe because of flies or whatever, if it kicks out to the back, I can simply let go, and if it kicks to the front underneath its belly, I can bend my arm and I'm very likely to not get hurt. If you pick up the hind legs from behind, as shown here, and the horse kicks back, you might get in trouble with your arm. Other than that, basically the hind feet function exactly like the front feet. Like I said, make sure the horses are used to having their feet picked up if you don't know the horse. Now, here's a little video of what could happen if you don't check your horse's feet regularly. So this is my own horse, and I think she got a stone stuck in her foot at some point in the field. I didn't see it early enough, and she ended up lame for a few days. Because I spotted it fairly quickly, it wasn't a big deal. It was only maybe a week of a little bit of poulticing and no work, and other than that, she was fine. But if I hadn't spotted it then, it might have turned into an abscess. The horse would have been in actual, like, way more pain than she is there, and it might have turned into a bigger problem. So it's really a little thing that you can do to ensure that your horse stays healthy and sound, and your farrier will also thank you that your horse is used to having its feet lifted up, and that they don't have trouble when they come around to check on your horse for you. So I hope this helps, and if there's anything that I forgot, please let me know.